warning. Okay, we are working on lesson 4.6, example 3. We are working with slope-intercept form, real-life application, and that basically means word problems. So the first example that they're giving us right here, the graph shows the distance remaining to complete a tunnel. A, write an equation that represents the distance y in feet remaining after X months. How much time does it take to complete the tunnel? Okay, so if we look at this, this is telling me how many feet we have left before we complete the tunnel. So as we tunnel, the feet we have left is getting smaller. That's why it is a negative slope. The feet we have left is decreasing as time goes on. So we have a negative slope. This is asking us to do two things. Find the equation, and then how much time will it take to complete the tunnel? So we always start with y equals mx plus b. We always start with slope-intercept form. We label our parts. Y. This is how many feet we have left, or how many feet remaining. X is months. M is the slope, and B is the y-intercept. When X is 0, what is Y? So they've given us 2 points. At 0 months, we have 3,500 feet left. After 4 months, we have 1,500 feet left. So the first thing we need to do is find our slope. Here's my first ordered pair, XY, first ordered pair. XY, second ordered pair. I know that the equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So now I'm going to substitute 1,500 minus 3,500 over 4 minus 0. Now I would use a calculator here. It's going to make life easier. Negative 2,000 over 4. And when we reduce this, this is negative 500. My slope is negative 500. That kind of makes sense because look at the slope they've given us. Is it negative? Yeah, it's going down. My slope here is negative, so I'm pretty sure I'm doing something right. So I have y equals negative 500x, and then we need to find my y-intercept, the b. When x is 0, what is y? Positive 3,500. So this is the first part of the problem. They asked me to find the equation. I needed to find the equation that this graph represents. Well, I did that. I found the equation. The second part is asking me, how long will it take until the tunnel is finished? Well, y is feet left X is months. We want to know how long, how many months is it going to take until that tunnel is finished. When it's finished, we're going to have 0 feet left, right? So we want to know how many months is it going to take to get to 0 feet. 0 feet. How many months is that going to take? This is the second part of that problem. So I want to know how many months. I need to isolate X. I need to get rid of positive 3,500. So I'm going to subtract 3,500. What I do on one side, I must do on the other. Exactly. So negative 3,500 equals negative 500x. Those guys cancel. I still want to isolate my variable. So I'm going to divide by negative 500. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So a negative and a negative is positive. 3,500 divided by 500 is 7. These guys canceled. Here's my X. We have to remember, what does this mean? Remember, X is months. So we have XY, months, feet left. This is telling me 7 months when my Y was 0. So what this is telling me is after 7 months, we will have 0 feet left. So after 7 months, we'll have 0 feet left. Now that's kind of an awkward way of saying it, 0 feet left. What it means is after 7 months, we'll be done digging that tunnel. There won't be any more digging to do. We're done. So this is kind of a big problem. The first thing we had to do was use the points to determine the slope so that we could find our equation and our y-intercept. Then we had to use that equation to figure out how many months until we were done, or there was 0 feet left. So it's kind of a big problem. So let's do another one. Okay. Repeat example 3 with the points 0, 3,500, and 5, 1,750. Now, they don't even have the courtesy of rewriting the question or showing us the graph. They're just saying repeat example 3 with these points. Okay. So here was our example 3. We need to write the equation that represents the distance y in feet remaining after X months, and how much time will it take to complete the tunnel. And they've given us 2 new points. So we can totally do this. We've got it. Y equals mx plus b. The first thing we're going to do is label. Y is how many feet left. X is how many months. M is my slope. And B is the y-intercept. When X is 0, what is Y? Okay, so the problem's given us 2 new points. 0, 3,500, and 5, 1,750. So this means at 0 months, we have 3,500 feet left to dig, to tunnel. At 5 months, we have 1,750 feet left to tunnel. So the first thing we need to do is label them. Here's our first ordered pair. Here's our second ordered pair. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Let's substitute 1,750 minus 3,500 over 5 minus 0. I would use a calculator here. Negative 1,750 over 5. A negative and a positive is negative. 1,750 divided by 5 is 350. And this kind of makes sense. This is telling me my slope is negative. It's going down. And when I look at the problem, my slope is negative. It is going down. The number of feet is decreasing. So I've got y equals negative 350x plus my y-intercept. When x is 0, y is 3,500. So this is the first part of the problem. They asked us to find the equation, and we did. The second part of the problem is asking us, after how many months will we be done? After how many months will there be 0 feet left to tunnel? So I always recommend labeling everything. This is feet left. This is months. We want to know, after how many months will we be done? So will we have 0 feet left to tunnel? Now, this is just a basic equation that you guys know how to solve. We need to isolate the variable. So I need to get rid of positive 3,500. So let's subtract 3,500. What I do to one side, must do to the other. Negative 3,500 equals negative 350x. Those guys canceled. I still need to isolate my variable. So I'm going to divide by negative 350. What I do to one side, must do to the other. A negative divided by a negative is positive. 3,500 divided by 350 is 10. These guys cancel, and I've got x. Now remember, we have xy. X is months, y is feet left. So when x is 10, we have 0 feet left. So in 10 months, it will take us 10 months and we will have 0 feet left. After 10 months, we will have 0 feet left. And that's kind of an awkward way of saying it. We don't typically say 0 feet left. We would say after 10 months, we'll be done. We won't have any more feet to tunnel. We will have reached the end of the tunnel. Okay, for your homework, you've got 4, or your assignment, I should say, you've got 4 problems. 2 of them, they're giving you the points and you need to figure out the slope in the equation. The other 2 are word problems. So let's take a look. A boa constrictor is 18 inches long at birth and grows 8 inches per year. Write an equation that represents the length y in feet of a boa constrictor that is X years old. Okay, so we're going to start with y equals mx plus b. Now, this is telling me y is feet and x is years. Now, the slope, this is the slope, but the slope is going to be feet per year. Feet per year. But here they're giving us inches. They're telling us y is feet, but they're giving us inches. So I'm not sure what you're going to do with that. You may have to use 8 inches. You may have to convert that to feet, which would be 0.66. So you'll have to try both. Now here, our y-intercept. This is what we're starting with. What is the starting point or the starting measurement? Basically, what was the length of the snake at birth when it started? Okay, so the equation is telling us y is feet, x is years. The slope is your measurement per year. It's being multiplied by x times x per year. And the y-intercept is your starting point. Okay. Your second one is very similar to what we were doing today. One of your friends gives you $10 for a charity walkathon. Another friend gives you an amount per mile. After 5 miles, you have raised $13.50 total. Write an equation that represents the amount y of money you have raised after x miles. Y equals mx plus b. Y, this is the total dollars. X is miles. Now remember, your y-intercept or your b is your starting point. Or perhaps how much money somebody gave you up front. And then your slope is how much money are you raising per mile. So this is dollars per mile. So you're going to have to do a couple of things here. First, you're going to have to substitute the numbers that they've given you so that you can figure out the slope. Substitute the numbers that they've given you where they belong so that you can figure out the slope. Once you have your slope, y equals, you're going to substitute your slope here, x plus your starting point. Okay? Okay, that's all I've got for you today.